Okay. How does this Ice Blue 3? Currently, it is February the 17th, 2026. Finally, it's finally the Chinese New Year, the year of the fire horse. And just know I think I'm a metal horse or whatever. So anyway, I was born in 1990. So who knows? Maybe this might be like a lucky year for me. Anyway, so because my luck has been shitty. Anyway, so I guess I'm going to go over a few tweets that I posted, a few weird tweets that I posted, and then I'm going to go over the astrology. I'm gonna go down this list that I posted. It's called the final final judgment in regards in regards to the astrology regarding the Clintons, Donald Trump, and I guess you can also say the United States as well, because it's gonna have the United States is gonna have its Uranus return very very soon. So let me pause a second to get this judgment card out again. Pause. Okay, so let me repeat. Like, it's the Chinese year of, I believe, the fire horse or whatever, but also transit Saturn has finally entered Aries. So, in Aries is a sign of fire and also war. But anyway, and I had previously, I didn't know until like recently that all the way back in 1997 I had a major family event that happened around that time too. So I'm like, not looking good for me. Anyway, so this judgment card. Now I have a crazy story about buying these tarot cards or whatever. Basically, when I bought these tarot cards on, I believe, October the 23rd, around that time, and so I ended up with a $20 bill that had a witchcraft symbol on it. So it was just crazy. So I was like, I ended up buying some tarot cards with a $20 bill with a witchcraft symbol. Anyway, but it's, I guess you could look at it and say that it showed like a dollar sign on one side and like a grain of wheat on another side, and an infinity symbol in the middle. So you can probably say it's like infinite money and good luck and abundance or whatever. Hopefully, it will bring me good luck and abundance, because my life has been, like I said, crappy these past few years. Hopefully, anyway. So back to the astrology. So around on October 29th, I made a post on AstroSeek and True Social, and I tried to also make this post on Twitter or X, but except I didn't have enough storage. So in reference to this judgment card. And see, when I purchased, the only reason why I purchased this tarot deck was because I saw this one card. And so what threw me for a loop was that pretty much there's these people that are coming out of these caskets, and these caskets at the bottom right here. And they're just reaching up for the sky. So in this post that I made on October 29th, 2025, I said pretty much 21 judgment. Now I think at the top right here it says 22 or 20. Let me pause for a second to get the correct numerology. Okay, so yeah, pretty much out of the suit of major arcana, the judgment card would be the 21st card, even though it says 20 at the top right here. Basically the Fool, they have it written as the number 0 in regards to the major arcana. And so I saw that and I was like, okay, if you add, basically this would be the 21st card. And so if you add the numbers 2 and 1 together, you get number 3. So anyway, so I want to go down the lore that I wrote down here. Along, I'm not gonna go through the full transits that I wrote, because I'm gonna go through the transits later on. So let's see here. And so I said 21 judgment, the number 3. It makes me think of the Clintons, the Democratic Party, and Donald Trump. So as the 7 notes, lost of eighth, are played by the angel via a trumpet, the hidden coffins and buried bodies / secrets flow out of the scorpionic thawed icy waters, coming on earth, opening and exposing / revealing everything to be seen and judged. The ending of winter and the beginning of spring, or a new season / era. P.S. I did say biblical. And so, let me see here. I'm not gonna go over all the astrology right now. I'm gonna just go over like some posts I made recently, because that's probably like a little bit more interesting than the actual astrology. So, and I'm gonna just show this the Lord I posted right here, just in case you don't believe me. And then the actual, well, this is the old astrology that I had posted. Ooh, hopefully it doesn't click it. And so this is the old astrology that I posted. and a picture of the card. But I'm trying to get to the date. See, the screen on this phone is like so I'm trying to get to the date that I posted it, and that is October 29th, 2025 at 10:03 a.m. And so let me scroll down a little bit further. Go back up a little bit. Let's go back down a little bit further. And I said, "Oops, I missed a date." I think it's December I missed December the 17th, 2025. Yeah. And I want to actually click right here and show the date show the time I posted that. And so the time was around the same time. I think it was October 29th, 2025. And I said, "Oops, I missed the date, December the 17th." My point in regards to showing this is to prove that I've been saying that these transits, well, these progressions in regards to Bill Clinton and the progressions and transits in regards to Bill Clinton and his upcoming scandal. I've been talking about this for a long time. I've been gave the dates. So let's see. Let me pause for a second. You know what? I'm just gonna go down to astrology first. Because it is a lot of astrology, and so anyway. But I do want to also show this other card real quick in regards to the Clintons and how I think things are about to go down for the Clintons. And again, I didn't say that yet, but anyway. So the Tower card. Every time, ever since I had a dream all the way back, I believe on November around November. I think it was November the 11th. But I made a video about it on November the 23rd, maybe. And pretty much I had a dream. It was like something huge was going down inside in Washington D.C. And apparently around that time it came out that I think an Iranian man he ended up killing two National Guardsmen in Washington D.C. So it was like a premonition, but it's up when the energy that dream that I had, it kept. I'm still reminded to this day about this card right here in regards to the Clintons. I don't know why, but anyway, I mean, why? I guess I know why the astrology shows that some stuff's about to go down. Hopefully, I don't sound too out of sorts or whatever or convoluted. So I made a post today this morning on Astroseek and True Social and also Twitter. I tried to make this post on Twitter, but I didn't have enough space to type the full lore. Anyway, so it's called Final Judgment. This is all the astrology that's going to happen in regards to the Clintons for the I think up until August 9th of 2026. So I'm gonna scroll real quick. And I want to say some of the stuff that's. I know this is like, yeah. I made other additional posts that was kind of funny, but I just wanted to also make sure that I have the lore that I typed up in a different form because some of my tweets and some of my True Social posts are like missing, and so I want to at least have this important astrology in a videos form to show that I made this major prediction because things are about to go down like now because of this eclipse. Eclipses activate events. So, and you can see that in regards to when Charlie Kirk was killed. I was expecting like a major event to happen around September the between the dates of August the 27th through September the 5th, or at the latest September the 14th. However, nothing happened until after the eclipse that happened on September the 7th, 2025. And so, weirdly enough, there's an eclipse and it's happening today on the 17th. So we'll see what comes up on 3 days from now because it was 3 days after the eclipse where Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Right? Hopefully nobody. Anyway, found a different picture of the Judgment card or whatever. I'm trying to get to where the time was so I can say that, give the exact times and stuff. So okay, so I'm gonna read the lore real quick. I know it's a lot, but I want try to go over it. So here we go. So it's called Final Judgment. This is my prediction. So today is February the 17th, 2026. Now at 6:01 a.m. Eastern Time, there was a new moon solar eclipse. It was exactly opposite Donald Trump's natal ascendant. And the what you could say is that pretty much it could be that a prominent Democrat could be assassinated like Charlie Kirk, or this eclipse could later lead to the arrest of Bill Clinton or some major event with Bill Clinton. And I'll repeat myself, but remember the September 7th, 2025 lunar eclipse? It led to the September 10th, 2025 assassination of Charlie Kirk. And it was transit Sun conjunct transit K2 in the sky, and transit Mars conjunct Charlie Kirk's natal sun, and transit Moon opposite Charlie Kirk's natal sun. And it took 3 days for the event to manifest in reality. So I wonder what would happen around 3 days after this new moon eclipse. So weirdly enough, in 3 days from now, on February the 20th, 2026, transit Saturn will conjoin transit Neptune on the side of the sky, and that may lead to a major event. Maybe a major secret could get revealed. So that's that. Let's see here. So also another big event to look out for is for the date of February 23rd, 2026 for Hillary Clinton. Her progressed moon will oppose her natal Mars. And the last time this happened was on November 14th, 1998, or 35 days before Bill Clinton's impeachment proceedings. And it was probably the investigating, deliberating, and the processing of articles of impeachment for Bill Clinton. Regardless, it's going to be a violent or angering event for Hillary Clinton. A reminder, Hillary Clinton's progressed moon quincunxed her progressed Mars on January 19th, 1998. And days later, Hillary had an interview with Matt Lauer on January 27th, 1998. Not to forget that on January 26th, 1998, Bill Clinton, he claimed that he did not have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky. So, this aspect of Hillary Clinton's progressed moon quincunxes her progressed Mars, it happened again on July 30th, 2025, and that's when Ghislaine Maxwell was interviewed by the FBI. And also, I think Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, and Tulsi Gabbard, they came out and said they found proof that Hillary and I think Obama interfered inside of the 2016 election. And another reminder is that I warned Hillary Clinton about this astrology all the way back on May the 15th, 2025. And this is around the same day that I believe that James Comey, he posted this Instagram post or his tweet where it was a picture of some seashells spelling out the numbers 8647. And 8647 means remove basically the 47th president of the United States. So it's kind of weird and karmic that I made this post in regards to Hillary Clinton, saying that this is a warning. You need to be careful around the date of July the 30th, 2025. It's the same astrology as the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Anyway, so moving on. On February 24th, 2026 for Hillary Clinton, her progressed moon will oppose her progressed Pluto. And the last time this happened was on November 30th, 1998, or 20 days before Bill Clinton's impeachment proceedings. So it was probably the Republicans and the Democrats getting the articles of impeachment ready for Bill Clinton's impeachment. I'm just saying that the same astrology that happened during Bill Clinton's impeachment right before it is happening now. Maybe there's investigations that are going on in regards to Bill Clinton. Who knows? But anyway, so moving on February 26, 2026, transit Mercury will station, and I believe it go retrograde. So that should be an interesting day. Oh, but also on February 26, 2026, Hillary Clinton, she's subpoenaed to testify in front of Congress, right? And then also on February 27th, 2026, Bill Clinton is subpoenaed to testify in front of Congress. And also the video game Resident Evil 9 comes out on February 27th, 2026. Keep in mind that Resident Evil 2, which is one of the most popular Resident Evil games, it came out on January 21st, 1998. And understand that Bill Clinton, he claimed that he did not have sexual relations with that woman on January 26, 1998. It's like 4 days later. So for Resident Evil 9 to be released on the same day that Bill Clinton has another, via the astrology, another scandal brewing, that's just interesting. So moving on, so for on On March 3rd, 2026, there will be a full moon lunar eclipse. I'm going to leave it at that. On March 10th, 2026, transit retrograde Jupiter stations and goes direct. So on March the 14th, 2026, for Hillary Clinton, her progressed moon will oppose her natal Pluto. And the last time this happened was on December 4th, 1998, or 15 days before Bill Clinton's impeachment. Maybe it was a processing of the articles of impeachment for Bill Clinton. The next day, on March the 15th, 2026, transit retrograde Mercury will conjoin transit Mars in the sky. And so that's probably explosive Epstein scandal news or information that's possibly released. The last time that transit retrograde Mercury conjoined transit Mars in the sky, there was a internet outage. Virginia DeFray, she released a book. Prince Andrew, who dropped his Duke of York titles and his Prince titles as well. And I think also some Epstein files were released as well. So, anyway, around that time. So moving on, that was March the 15th, 2026. Explosive information. So let's see here. On March 20th, 2026, transit Mercury was stationed and go direct. So moving on, let's see here. On April the 8th, 2026, for Hillary Clinton, her progressed moon will conjoin her natal midheaven. Yeah, that's an event right there. So let's see here. On April the 20th, 2026, transit Mercury will conjoin transit Mars in the sky. And again, that deals with explosive information in regards to Epstein. Yeah. And days later, 6 days later, on April the 26th, 2026, which is my birthday, transit Uranus will enter the sign of Gemini, and that deals with civil wars, and that deals with wars in regards to the United States of America. It could be a civil war, or it could deal with a war that's outside of the United States. I think one of the times that transit Uranus entered Gemini, I think that was World War II or World War I. I forgot now. But it was definitely, I think the Civil War was when transit Uranus entered the sign of Gemini. Anyway, moving on. So this is a major event right here, a major important event. For Bill Clinton on May the 4th, 2026, his progressed moon was sextile his natal nodes. The last time this happened was on November 24th, 1998, or that was 20 days before his 1998 impeachment. Let's see here. On May the 16th, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressed Venus will conjoin his progressed Mars. That means it's a fated, angering event in regards to his social circles. Let's see here. Moving on. So on May the 21st or 25th of 2026, for Donald Trump, his progressed Venus will conjoin his progressed Jupiter. And it's a fated, lucky event for Donald Trump's social circles. So it's like something bad happens for Bill Clinton and his circles, and something good happens for Donald Trump and his circles. Who knows? Maybe Bill Clinton could go to jail, or maybe there could be he could get exposed for something during the month of May. Let's see here. So moving on. So on May the 27th, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressed Mercury was sextile his natal Mars. It's fated angering news. So moving on. For Hillary Clinton on June the 12th, 2026, her progressed moon was sextile her progressed Jupiter. It's a lucky event for her. So I don't understand how she gets lucky all around this time while Bill Clinton's going through hell. She's going to get lucky around June the 12th, 2026. Anyway, another big event. On July 4th, 2026, transit Mars in the sky will conjoin transit Uranus in the sky. And that deals with angering violent events, or possible terror attack, or it could be a violent event in regards to what Donald Trump does. Donald Trump could probably on July 4th just arrest everybody. So it could go either way. On one hand, it could probably be a terrorist attack or a violent event. Or on the other hand, it could be that Donald Trump, he does something that's what I say? Of violent justice. So who knows? So let's see here, and I'm going to pull this card out again, because throughout all this entire month of May, this is what I'm looking at, the Tower in regards to the Clintons. Anyway, so moving on. So on July 15th, 2026, for Donald Trump, his progressed Venus will square his natal Venus, and there's a focus on his social circles and career. And this should be a good event. That's why I said that it could be violent justice in regards to Donald Trump. But then again, don't hold me to that. Because Hillary Clinton, she gets lucky on June the 12th, 2026. But Donald Trump, there's just an event in regards to his social circles on the 15th of July. Anyway, so on July 20th, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will quincunx his natal moon. And the last time this happened was the end of Bill Clinton's 1998/1999 impeachment. And that happened on February 9th, 1999. So this is why I keep saying that the end of this Epstein situation, it could probably be around July the 20th, 2026. However, on August 9th, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will sextile his progressed Uranus, and it's a major shocking event. And keep in mind that for Bill Clinton, his progressed retrograde Uranus is conjunct his natal Venus right now. So around this time, like his progressed retrograde Venus, it can join his natal Venus on October 11th, 2025. And around this time, this is when Hillary Clinton, she skipped out on her depositions on October 9th, 2025. Also on October 14th, 2025, Bill Clinton, he skipped out on his subpoena depositions where he was supposed to come in and testify in regards to his relations to Epstein. And that was October 14th, 2025. But on the date of October 11th, 2025, Donald Trump, he was snubbed in regards to getting the Nobel Peace Prize or whatever. But also, I believe on November the 6th or the 8th, 2025, that's when a black man whose name is Danny Williams Clinton, he releases his book called The Forgotten Son. And see, Danny Williams / Clinton, he's a black man he's a black man from Little Rock, Arkansas. He claims to be Bill Clinton's biological son. So anyway, and let me pause a second. There's a lot of astrology and lore that goes along with this story. So let me pause. Okay, so again, Danny Williams Clinton, who's a black man, he claims to be Bill Clinton's biological son. Now, Danny Williams Clinton was born in 1985, and the astrology that lines up with his birth, and which proves to me that Danny Williams is Bill Clinton's biological son, is that around March/April 1985, Danny Williams' mother was impregnated. Now, looking at Bill Clinton's chart, on November 10th, 1985, for Bill Clinton, his progressed Saturn made a sextile to his natal Mars. On November 11th, 1985, for Bill Clinton, his progressed Mars made a square to his natal Saturn. And these two planets are malefic planets. And so, it's making it's aspecting his his first house and his 10th house. And the first house deals with your image, and the 10th house deals with your status. And so let's see here. Let me move on a little bit. So on December 5th, 1985, for Bill Clinton, his progressed Uranus began to retrograde. So let's see here. Moving on. So on December 7th, 1985, that was the birth of Danny Williams Clinton. And so understand that around the time of, I think, 1985 or whatever, Bill Clinton, I think he was the governor of Arkansas. And understand that Arkansas at one point in time was a very racist state. It was one of the states that seceded from the Union. There's a famous event called the Little Rock Nine, where there were 9 black students that were trying to go to school, and racist people were trying to block them from going to school. And so I think President D. Eisenhower, he had to invoke the Insurrection Act to force the governor of Little Rock, Arkansas, to allow these black students to go to school. And so understand that Danny Williams Clinton was born 28 years after that event. I believe that event happened, I believe, in 1957. And Danny Williams Clinton was born in 1985. And understand 28 years is a Saturn return of something. Not only that, so let's see here. So looking at the astrology now, all the way back on October the 11th of 2025. And being these progressions, these planets, these progressed planets, they move very, very slowly. So understand that the moon, it moves very, very quickly. And so it takes about I'm not gonna get into the mathematics of the situation. The effects of Bill Clinton's progressed retrograde Uranus can be felt for like roughly like 3 months before after that event. But for Danny Williams Clinton to make to post it, make his book on November the 6th or the 8th, 2025, all the while Bill Clinton was having his progression inside of his chart, where his progressed retrograde Uranus conjoined his natal Uranus. Like, I believe something possibly could go down with Danny Williams Clinton, and it could come out that he's probably Bill Clinton's biological son. But maybe I'm wrong. But either way, the astrology shows that there might be something there in regards to Danny Williams Clinton being Bill Clinton's biological son. Is that everything in regards to that? So let's see here. So I think I ended this that post in regards to final judgment on that note in regards to Bill Clinton's progressed moon making a sextile to his progressed Uranus, and it being a shocking event. And I ended it with signed astrologer Ice Blue 3, the god of astrology. It's been 26 minutes. Hopefully somebody's probably bored out of their mind right now. So I think I also made another post in regards to the midterm election astrology. So let me see, how long is this? Pretty long, but I'm going to also talk about the midterm elections as well in this video, so I can have all the astrology and everything in one video. So let me pause for a second to get my thoughts together. So let me pause. Okay, so I say all that to say, pretty much, after this eclipse is hit, which was the day around 6:01 a.m., things should start to go down like now. Like I said, the 20th of February, that could be an interesting day, but probably not. The most interesting days are going to be February 23rd and 24th. Even though Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton subpoenaed to testify on the 26th and the 27th of February. February 23rd and 24th, I don't know why the astrology shows it on those days, but those should be some interesting days. Moving on, pretty much March the 14th, 2026, and 15th, 2026 for Hillary Clinton and just the collective. That should be an interesting day as well. Let's see here, on April 20th and April 26th through April 26th or whatever. Those should be some interesting days as well. And then the entire month of May should be very, very interesting. And then on July 20th, 2026 for Bill Clinton, that's when the same astrology as the Monica Lewinsky scandal that happened all the way back in 1998/1999, it should end, and whatever scandal that's about to break now should either reach its climax or end. But even after that, on August 9th, 2026, there might be another shocking event. But I'm telling you that Donald Trump probably will not be too happy about the midterm elections. So next up, now I'm going to go over the midterm elections, because this is after the all this craziness that goes down. So let's see here. On August 12th, 2026, there will be a solar eclipse, I think in the sign of Leo, at 11:38 a.m. And both Bill Clinton and Donald Trump's Clinton's son will be aspected, and I think Donald Trump's ascendant will be aspected as well. So let's see here. On August 19th, 2026, for Donald Trump, the transit nodes in the sky will conjoin Donald Trump's ascendant and enter Donald Trump's 12th house. And that's K2, which means losses. So Donald Trump will be forced to go into survival mode around August 19th, 2026. On August 22nd, 2026, for Donald Trump, transit Sun in the sky and transit K2 in the sky will conjoin Donald Trump's natal ascendant, and it'll be exact. And again, Donald Trump goes into survival mode. It could be probably a loss for him or something. Something weird happens. And the last time the transit Sun and transit K2 conjoined, made a conjunction, that was when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So keep that in mind. So something major could go down in regards to Donald Trump. Let's see here. On August 22nd, 2026, which is the same day for Hillary Clinton, her progressed Pluto will conjoin her natal Mars. And it's fated transformative destructive anger. That makes me, well, Anyway, the next day on August 23rd, 2026 for Hillary Clinton, her progressed moon was square her progressed nose. Is a fated event. June, July, August, September, October. I wonder if there's going to be some kind of major event in regards to a loss of a prominent Republican figure. Who knows? I don't know. Around August 22nd, 20 and 23rd should be pretty interesting. So the August 22nd and 23rd, because it's like Donald Trump goes into survival mode for some reason. Let's see here. On October the 1st, 2026. Well, let me go back a little bit. It could probably be a loss of maybe a Republican does something stupid. I don't know. Who knows? But and so that's what causes a fated event for Hillary Clinton and like a angering event. Fated transformative destructive anger. I don't know. Anyway, so on October 1st, 2026 for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will oppose his natal Jupiter. And that means he gets lucky for some reason. And I keep saying that every time a prominent, whatever, because I said it wrong in my last video. If a Democrat has a lucky event around October or right before the election, a prominent figure, they tend to win whatever election it is. But then again, you have to look at the overall because I think that anyway, the 2024 election was very, very difficult to predict. And the 2028 election is going to be very, very difficult to predict as well because Gavin Newsom, he has a progression of Jupiter around election time as well too. Anyway, it's like he loses, but it plays out in his favor. But that's 2028. I'm talking about the midterm elections. So sorry. Something huge could happen around October 19th through October. Well, the last part of August 19th. I mean, the last part of August 2026. I'm sorry. Anyway, on October 1st, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will oppose his natal Jupiter, and he gets lucky for some reason. And that's why I said also that Donald Trump may not be too happy about the results of the midterm elections. Anyway, so on October 26, 2026 for Hillary Clinton, her progressed moon will square her progressed Chiron. And it's also Hillary Clinton's birthday or her solar return. And the last time this happened was on April the 17th, 1999. So I don't know what happened back then, but that was after Bill Clinton's impeachment. Anyway, so I got written right here on November 4th, 2026, additional midterm election astrology will be added later. And I'm talking about the transits. And it's reference to transit Mars, K2, and Jupiter, and Donald Trump. They're aspects to Donald Trump's chart. This midterm election is gonna piss off Donald Trump. It looks like it's gonna really piss him off for some reason. And who knows? It could probably be due to possible fraud, or who knows? Maybe something happens that just even though Donald Trump he does expose like a lot of this Epstein stuff or whatever, or a major scandal or whatever, something might happen that might mess it up for him. There we go. So angering election results. I said angering election results due to possible fraud? ? But either way, Trump goes to survival mode around August 2026. But I said that the fraud, it could again possibly be exposed around March 2027, unless this astrology means something else. So this is upside the air. I just know that Donald Trump's not going to be too happy about the midterm elections, and we'll see what happens around this time. Because today again is February the 17th, 2026. There was an eclipse today, and also it's the Chinese New Year. Anyway. So let's see here. On November 19, 2026 for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will quincunx his progressed midheaven. And so, yeah, this, like I said, Donald Trump might not be too happy about the midterm elections. Let's see here. On November 19th, 2026 for Donald Trump, his progressed moon will trine his progressed Saturn. It means a depressing emotional block for Donald Trump. That's why I keep saying he's not going to be happy about the midterm elections. On December 9th, 2026 for Donald Trump. December 9th, 2026 for Donald Trump. His regress moon will conjunct his natal Lilith, and that means it's possible want a revenge because of a compromised election. Maybe or maybe there's something that happens that in August that just, I don't know. Anyway, who knows? A Republican might take out a Democrat because they were inside the Epstein files or whatever, and it blows up to it gets blown completely out of proportions. I don't know. That's just a guess. There are so many things that could happen. So let me keep on moving. So again, December 9th, 2026 for Donald Trump, his progress moon will conjoin his natal Lilith. Oh, that's a conjunction, so that's very, very powerful. Possible want or revenge because of a compromised election. Election fraud exposed in March 2027? Question mark, who knows? So on December 10th, 2026 for Bill Clinton, his progress moon will trine his natal sun. He gets an ego boost. So the day before this, Donald Trump is pissed about something. And the day after that, Bill Clinton, he's like, ego boost. So it's like, we'll see what goes down around that time. So on December 13th, 2026, transit Jupiter was stationed, and it will begin to retrograde. Understanding the planet Jupiter, is ruled by... The planet Jupiter rules Republicans. The planet Saturn rules Democrats. Anyway, and that's shown inside of this book called the Rulership Book, and it's by Rex E. Bills. Anyway, so that's the 13th of December 2026. So on March the 1st, 2027, that's when transit retrograde Jupiter will conjoin transit K2 in the sky. And so understand that this is a very, very weird transit in the sky. Maybe it does happen, but it's kind of weird to me that a very, very slow moving planet, Jupiter, conjoins a constantly retrograding point in the sky, K2 in the sky. Now K2 does deal with losses, and so you would think that the Republicans would lose something, or something bad would happen to the Republicans when transit Jupiter conjoins transit K2 inside of the sky, which is again a rare phenomenon to me. But being that Donald Trump, his progressed Jupiter was square his natal Venus on the dates of March 7th or 18th, 2027, which means that Donald Trump and his partners in social circles will get lucky. Maybe some fraud could get exposed, or something could happen that just makes things better around this time. Because again, anyway, transit retrograde Jupiter will conjoin transit K2 inside the sky, which is a rare event. So moving on April 12th, 2027, transit Jupiter was stationed and go direct at 16 degrees, 59 minutes of Leo. So let's see here. Moving on. So on June 22nd, 2027, Donald Trump. On June 22nd, 2027, for Donald Trump, his progressed Mercury will enter his first house, or it will conjoin his ascendant, which should be interesting. I think Mercury is a benefic, if you consider the Vedic, and I think planet Mercury rules Donald Trump's 11th house, I think, because I think let me pause a second. Okay, so pretty much for Donald Trump, I think Mercury rules his 11th house and his second house, and with it conjoining his ascendant or whatever, that could deal with great gains in regards to him, or his social circles, and his second house is financial. Anyway, so it's probably gonna be a very, very good event for Donald Trump around June 22nd, 2027. However, let's see here. The United States is going to begin to have its Uranus return. Now, within a 5-degree orb, it begins around July the 4th, 2026. However, the United States will have its Uranus return on July 26th, 2027, November 5th, 2027, and May 11th, 2028. So that should be interesting. The big date I would believe is on May the 11th, 2028, because I think Donald Trump, he will have, I think, a progressive lunar return around May the 9th, 2028. But not only that, I think that also the astrology in regards to China, in its trade, all the way back on October 10th, year 2000, Bill Clinton, of all people, signed this trade deal with the World Trade Organization in regards to China, which allowed China to enter I believe the World Trade Organization or whatever. And so pretty much that boosted, I believe, China's economy. And it gave them a boost in regards to just world trade. And so the astrology for that is shown to happen, to repeat on in regards to progressions on February the 1st, I believe 2028. Let me pause a second to make sure that's right. So yeah, that was correct. The same astrology will happen on February 1st, 2028. And see, Donald Trump later will have a progressive lunar return on May the 9th, 2028. And these events, with Donald Trump having a lunar return, that deals with him really having to go into survival mode. Let's see if I can find, yeah. The last time that Donald Trump had a progressed lunar return, right? Let me pause for a second to get that lore. So yeah, the last time that Donald Trump had a progressed lunar return, basically it was on January 14th, 1946. That was his birth. It happened again on September 21st, 1973, and that's when the Trump Management Company, between the years of 1972 and 1974, there were allegations that the Trump Management Company had discriminated against applicants for apartment rentals on the account of their race. And so their lawsuit was settled without any admission of guilt. And so it happened again on January 9th, 2001, and this is around the time of the Bush-Gore election results that led to the Supreme Court deciding to stop the recount of votes in Florida, which would have reportedly made Al Gore the winner instead of George W. Bush, which could have ultimately led to the Twin Tower event on September 11th, 2001, and Trump was in New York as the towers fell. And so the next time this is going to happen is on May the 9th, 2028. So, let's see here. Yeah. So, yeah. There is a lot more astrology that's going on in regards to Donald Trump's chart, in regards to the transits. Because I think Donald Trump's going to have a Mars return, right? That's he has several. It's like 3, I think. He's going to have a Mars return on November the 18th, 2026, and this is around the time that his progress moon will make an aspect to Saturn, and so this is going to be this man's going to be pissed. He's going to be very angry around November 19th, 2026. It's going to happen again on is this conjunct his ascendant or Mars? So his second Saturn return is going to his second Mars return is going to be on in regards to this period of time. It's gonna happen on March the 1st, 2027, and again he's gonna be pissed off about something. And it's gonna happen again on May the 4th, 2027. So, and keep in mind, I think that Donald Trump's having a progressed lunar return around this time as well. So anyway, I'm just saying that things are just after these midterm elections, Trump is going to be forced to go into survival mode, and we're going to see some stuff. Okay. However, for some reason, Donald Trump and his circles, they get lucky around March, the month of March. Leave it at that. So I think instead of adding those my tweets and posts that I made in regards to just being funny or whatever and silly, I think I want to make that a separate video, because this video is too heavy in regards to astrology. Nobody's gonna sit up here and look at all the astrology and then like want and then listen to the my craziness. So I think I want to end it here. Let me pause for a second to make sure that I have everything down that everything in this video that I want to post. Let me pause a second. I think maybe I'm just gonna flip through I'm gonna show my notes and I want to flip through them on screen so that people can see like what I have written down here just in case it's needed. So let me see here. Let me try to. Oh. Hopefully there's no pornos that pop up on here. Anyway, this is what I look at when this is what I type up while I'm not like Jesus, I mixed my words. That's the end of it. Okay. I don't know what was shown, but maybe it's important. Somebody can actually see it. Because I can't post everything on Twitter, and True Social also has limits as well too. But those are some of my notes. I got plenty of other notes or whatever. So I think it's gonna be it for me. I want to make another video and try to be funny. So I'm sorry if people just watched the entire video and was like, "We thought you were gonna talk about your tweets." I want to talk about them inside another video. And if not, then oh well. I mean, I'm gonna make another video. I'm gonna make another video in a minute. So let me pause a second. Let me end it right here, and then we'll get started on the other video, the second video. So bye for now.